Good morning and welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you've got any questions during the show, please ask them in the comments on the live feeds. And if you have any need for any more advice, then make sure you join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. There's accountants and business experts on hand 24/7 sharing their experience and knowledge. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please engage with it and we'll reveal the results at the end. And also to celebrate National Payroll Week this week, QuickBooks are offering 75% off QuickBooks Online and Payroll for 4 months. So make sure if you want to take advantage of that offer, you follow the link in the comments below to find out more. My name is Johann Goree and I'm the Managing Director of the OnPoint Accounting Group. We're a group of accounting firms dotted across the UK working to ensure our clients are up to date, compliant, and seeing the benefits of having live financial data. As I say, this week's National Payroll Week. Payroll is one of the biggest fears that business owners have. Whenever I speak to anyone about their business plans, etc., there's lots of business owners that will stop short of growth because they're worried they're going to have to employ someone. And they're worried that by employing someone, they've got to get that payroll rate. And someone's taking responsibility for someone's wage, which ultimately puts food on that family's table, gives a lot of business owners a lot of fear. So it's really important that you find a great payroll provider, a great payroll software that you know is going to give you the confidence that the payroll's right, it's accurate, it's going to tell you how much to pay HMRC, how much to pay to the employee, and make sure that you've got the confidence to go forwards. Because ultimately, payroll, like most of your financial functions, should be in the background. It shouldn't be something that you're kept up overnight about. So if you get the right software like QuickBooks Payroll, if you get a great accountant that uses something like QuickBooks Payroll, you'll be able to have the confidence to go to sleep well and to know that you can continue employing people and grow your business without that fear of getting it wrong and messing up someone's payslip. So this week, I wanted to talk to everyone about Making Tax Digital. This has been very much the theme of the month for us at OnPoint Accounting Group. We're looking at the next stage of Making Tax Digital, which is going to impact on self-assessment people and income tax. It's going to roll out in April 2023, and it's going to be a bigger change than what we've seen in other Making Tax Digital changes. So when VAT came out, there was a bit of a change because clients that weren't on software had to be on software, and it had to be approved by HMRC to link directly to them and file the VAT returns directly to them. But for a lot of clients that were already on software, that wasn't a huge issue. It wasn't a big change because you still filed at the same frequencies you did before. You just did it through accounting software, which a lot of people were already using. So all that happened was the area that the accounting software sent the data changed. With income tax, we're going to see a huge change because not only do you now have to file your accounts through software and keep your records digitally on software, which for a lot of self-employed and landlords as well is going to be a different new thing. It's also going to be a huge behavioural change because at the moment, and for as long as we can remember, to file your tax return as a self-employed person or a landlord, you've had 9 months after the year to file your tax return, and you file once a year. So you run your financial year, 9 out of 10 times it was run April through to the end of March, and you file your tax return by January the next year. So loads of time to get it sorted. With Making Tax Digital for income tax, which impacts on the self-employed and landlords, that is going to change. You're going to have to file quarterly. So you're going to send 4 returns a year with 1 month and 5 days in which to do that in. So if we run April to June, that's our first quarter. By the 5th of August, you've got to have filed your first tax return. And then at the end of each tax year, you'll file an a fifth return, an overview, just to tidy everything up and bring it all in line. So that's a huge behavioural change for all self-employed and landlords. So it's really, really important that you don't put your head in the sand and just pretend it doesn't exist and just say, oh, I'll deal with it later. You need to get into the habit now of storing your data digitally, keeping accurate books and accounts. Because if you can do it digitally and you do it in a good routine and a good habit of, say, weekly bookkeeping or monthly bookkeeping if you're a smaller business, and then you can file it with pretty much a click of a button if you're keeping your records accurate. Or your accountant can do that if you're keeping your records accurate, or if you're passing the records to them to keep accurate, instead of passing it to them once a year, keep passing it to them weekly, and they will then be able to file your returns promptly for you. One of the biggest things we're being asked is why? Why is this being done? So it's so that HMRC can more accurately review your tax return. They can see your data more accurately. It will help you budget better for your tax bill because you will have quarterly bills instead of one bill at the end of the year that takes you by surprise. It's also to help try and reduce and save time with that year-end tax bill. So absolutely loads of reasons why it's happening, but ultimately it's so HMRC can take the tax collection system into the 21st century. And get rid of all the paper options. So if you've not started looking at Making Tax Digital, please do. QuickBooks are launching loads of resources in the coming months to help you prepare for Making Tax Digital. And if you need an accountant that is Making Tax Digital ready, then all of our firms are ready. So you can get hold of me on LinkedIn, but also you can reach out to any accountants local to you by checking the QuickBooks Pro Advisor listings. And that will show you an accountant that uses QuickBooks close by to you. It'll give you some reviews and you can make a choice as to who you're going to contact from there. So I hope that helps. As I say, it's really important that we don't ignore Making Tax Digital. We don't pretend it's not going to happen. It's happening. It's rolling out. It's all going to take effect from April 2023, which, yes, it sounds like miles away, but it's only 18 months. And having seen the efforts that had to go into Making Tax Digital for VAT over the last few years, it's definitely worthwhile getting ahead and moving forwards with Making Tax Digital as soon as possible. So I hope that helps. As I say, you can get hold of me on LinkedIn if you've got any questions. But for now, let's go through the questions you're sending in at the moment. So our first question today is from Ben on Facebook Messenger. I'm a few months into launching my first business. Well done, Ben. Congratulations. The first step's always the hardest, to actually launch and get on with it. A small trades operation, and I really don't understand the basis of Making Tax Digital. What benefit will I see from this? Do I need to do it now, and can I do it myself, or will I need to get outside help? Okay, Ben. So the benefit to Making Tax Digital is it forces you or encourages you to keep accurate financial records on a more regular basis. What we've found in any businesses that keep more accurate records is that they are able to have better visibility of their financial performance as a business and make better educated choices. And by making better educated choices, the businesses are stronger and perform better and last longer. Whereas clients that stroll on through the year, don't understand what's happening with their business until the bank account's empty, and just get their tax return at the end of the year to find out they've had a really good or bad year, it's too late by that point to make any changes and make any actions. If you're keeping your records at least quarterly, you're going to be able to launch those records, see those records, and make decisions on a more proactive basis, because you'll see a drop in sales, you'll see a spike in sales, you'll see a spike in costs, etc. and you'll be able to make better informed decisions as a business owner. In regarding to will you be able to do it yourself or not, I always advise when it comes to tax, you get a professional accountant or bookkeeper to help you. In theory, you will be able to keep your records yourself on QuickBooks, and QuickBooks will be launching a filing software option. What we don't know at the moment is quite what that looks like because it's still being developed, but I would certainly take advantage of any free advice that's out there. We, for example, are going to be running loads of free MTD sessions, both online and face-to-face next year, where we're going to be able to teach you about Making Tax Digital, exactly how you're going to need to do it, and what tools you can use to do it. So look out for free events such as that, and you can come along to those, learn more, and then you can make that educated decision as to whether you're able to do this yourself or get outside help. I hope that helps, Ben. Next question is Susie from Facebook Messenger. I own a buy-to-let property and currently do my own self-assessment at the end of every financial year. How will Making Tax Digital affect me? Can I still manage my own finances? Okay, Susie, so basically at the moment you're doing your own tax return. That'll either be on a bit of paper, which will be scrapped, so you won't be able to do it that way, or it'll be through HMRC's website, web portal. That ultimately is going to be turned off. They don't want you manually entering figures into their website because they see that's an area where massive errors can occur through manual data entry. So they want you to enter the data into, say, QuickBooks, do your checks in QuickBooks, and press to send the information from QuickBooks to HMRC. So that's why it's digital. If you've got a turnover of more than £10,000, you are going to be impacted by Making Tax Digital because that's the threshold. Anyone under £10,000 won't need to do it straight away. So if you're earning over £10,000 turnover, not profit, turnover, then you are going to need to use an MTD compliant tool. In theory, you could manage your own finances with the right tools. But it's, as I've just said to Ben, it's certainly worth trying to get onto some education sessions, reading up on it, etc. So you are confident that you know what you've got to do and you can meet the compliance before deciding whether you're going to do it yourself or not. So I hope that helps. Jess on Twitter DMs asked, I've always used spreadsheets to manage my accounting. How can I easily transfer everything to be digital? Does it take long to set up? Hi, Jess. So moving from spreadsheets to digital software like QuickBooks is really easy. You've got a couple of options. One is that you start using QuickBooks from the next tax year, so April next year onwards. We always advise you start at the start of a financial year. It's nice, clean, tidy. So if you're not using QuickBooks yet and you want it really easy, start using it on the 1st of April 2022. If you've not got a huge amount of data and you've got it quite well recorded and you've got a bit of time to enter that data into QuickBooks, you could start today. You could link your bank accounts, you could move forwards knowing that you're completely ready for Making Tax Digital. But it's really easy. Or you can get an accountant and bookkeeper to help you out, to get you all set up, do a bit of training with you on QuickBooks on how to use it, and then move forwards with it like that. So I hope that helps. Our team are always happy to help migrate anyone onto QuickBooks that needs it, get you all set up and do some free training as well. Our next question is from Mohammed on Facebook Messenger. I have a client who's really struggling to understand why the government is making tax digital. Do you have any advice on how I can break this down and explain it in a simplified way? It depends on, we always try and work out what will help our clients understand it from their point of view. Our biggest selling point is you're going to have more regular, up-to-date data that's going to help you make better financial decisions for you and your business going forwards. And with that data, you're going to make a stronger and better business. Even if you don't want to grow your business, it means you can make better educated choices about the direction you take your business in and what costs you do and don't incur. But ultimately, this is happening, whether our clients or our businesses like it or not. It's happening. We need to do it. So regardless of whether we agree with something, we have to do it. It's becoming a law. So regardless of any other laws that you may or may not agree with, we have to follow it or face the penalties. So unfortunately, whether the client gets why and thinks it's a good idea or not, they're going to have to do this anyway. But we always try and put it from a point of view of the financial data gives you real insight and power to grow your business. Our next question from Helen on Instagram. How have your clients reacted to government introducing Making Tax Digital, and how do you feel about it? The majority, in fact, all of our clients haven't really blinked an eye to this. All of our clients have always been using software such as QuickBooks, or they've wanted to start using software because they see the benefit of the live information and the time that it saves and speeds up the process of your bookkeeping. So the fact that MTD came along for like VAT, it just changed the portal that the QuickBooks was filing the data into. So at HMRC's end, so it's not been an issue whatsoever. As an accounting group, our practices are ready for this. We are embracing it. We think it's a really good tool to encourage clients to have better, more comprehensive accounts, because it protects them. Then when HMRC say, can I look at your records? You can just go, yeah, here's QuickBooks, it's all here. So we think it's a very good tool. Yes, there's going to be challenges ahead, especially with behavioral change. That's always challenging, but there's lots of positives to come out of this. So I think it's about your mindset as an accountant or bookkeeper and how you sell it to your clients. So our next question is Alan on Facebook Messenger. I'm looking at the submission status on payroll for HMRC. Yesterday it said submitted, but now it's saying processing. What have I done wrong? So if you're looking at the HMRC website, then you'll need to contact HMRC, Alan. They have bugs, they have issues sometimes with things. So if it says it's processed and filed on your account, on your payroll software, and it's not quite saying that on HMRC, then I'd give HMRC a call, see what they say. They might advise you talk to your software provider, but always start with HMRC. So I hope that helps. Leonie on Instagram DM, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong there. If staff have different rates of pay, such as overtime, double time, etc., how do I record these costs in rates in QuickBooks? So if you've got QuickBooks Advanced Payroll, you can have as many different pay categories as you like with different hourly rates. So you can then put on their pay slips that you've done X amount of hours at normal, X amount of hours is overtime, X amount of hours is time and a half, X amount of hours is double time. So the staff can see a full breakdown, you see a full breakdown, and all that data gets recorded into QuickBooks. If you've got any other software, that I wouldn't know how to advise you on that. But in theory, if you're recording it in other software and the journals going into QuickBooks, then the journals should accurately portray the amount of money as a lump sum that they've been paid. But yeah, QuickBooks Advanced Payroll will be able to handle all those various pay rates really easily. So it's definitely worth having a look at, especially with the QuickBooks offer of 75% off for the next 4 months if you sign up this week for their payroll. So it's definitely worth looking at for that. It's got some fantastic features in there. Our next question is from Yashin on Twitter DM. Do I still have responsibilities to HMRC when I'm using a bureau to manage my payroll? Yashin, HMRC's view is that the responsibility of taxes is the taxpayer, not the processor. So as an accounting firm, we will process all that data for you, but ultimately the responsibility of accurate filing and paying those tax return, that data sits with sits with you as the taxpayer and the company, not with the bureau. But the bureau is in contract with you and is taking responsibility for some of those actions. So you'll need to check your terms and conditions of your contract to work out exactly what the bureau takes responsibility for. But in HMRC's eyes, you are ultimately responsible, regardless of who processes the data. You as the taxpayer and the employer are responsible for it. So I hope that helps. Thomas on Twitter DM, I run more than one small business. Is there a way I can align the accounting periods so I can deal with the admin all at once? Yeah, so Thomas, the best way to do that is just to, when you do your tax return, I'm assuming these are sole traders, not limited companies, but I'll give you a solution for both. If you've got sole trading companies that have all got different year start and finish dates, when you do your next tax return, complete all the financial years to March, for example. By doing that, you will, and then on your tax return, it will ask you to declare the start and finish period for each business. And you can do, by doing that, you're telling HMRC this is the new financial year. And they will take that into account. If you've got limited companies, then you can change your financial year end at Companies House, and they'll give you a short year or a long year to bring that into line. So yeah, hope that helps. If you've got sole trader accounts, put it on your self-assessment tax return and declare the start and finish dates. If you've got limited companies, do it at Companies House and tell them the new financial year, and they'll tell you what financial periods to refile for. And that will bring it all in line moving forwards. And that will make your admin a lot easier. Question from Heather. I'm having a problem with CIS invoice templates. For some reason, it's just adding 20% of instead of deducting. What am I doing wrong? I've not used the CIS invoicing properly myself yet. It's not something we do a lot of, Heather, but if you give QuickBooks a call or drop them a message on their live chat, they'll be able to get someone to help you look at that and go through it, what's going wrong. But what it sounds like, if it's adding 20% instead of deducting, I would suggest that you put in the amount minus the CIS. So the amount that you're actually physically going to pay to the tradesperson, put that in. QuickBooks would then add 20% on for the CIS. So it saves you doing another sum. So yeah, hope that helps. Shivi on Facebook Messenger. How can I track accrued holidays within advanced payroll? We give staff an allowance which changes depending on the service length from 20 to 25 days. We track this in an Excel spreadsheet to ensure employees don't ask for more holiday than they're entitled to. Can QuickBooks Advanced Payroll enable me to track allowances like this? Yes, Shivi. So basically in QuickBooks Advanced Payroll, you can have different leave templates. So you could have a standard template, which gives whoever's on that template will get their standard amount of days holiday. If you then reward someone for 2 years service, for example, you could have a 2-year service template and you can move people onto that. And you can have as many of those templates as you want. They will then QuickBooks Advanced Payroll will then work out what they will and won't be entitled to. And when the staff member puts in the holiday request on QuickBooks Advanced Payroll through their app or through their web portal, that will get deducted from their allowance and it will tell them how much time they've got left to take off during the year. I hope that helps, but QuickBooks Advanced Payroll can certainly handle that for you. Okay, we are running out of time quite rapidly here today. Last couple of questions then. Kim on Instagram DM. If you start a blog or a YouTube channel as a sole trader, can you later transfer these assets into a limited company? What's the process for that? You can, Kim. What I would suggest though is that's fairly complicated, so it's worth having a chat with an accountant or bookkeeper just to make sure you get the ownership bits right and the values of the assets correct as you move into a limited company. But that's certainly doable. It's a paperwork task, but it's definitely worth having a chat with your accountant or bookkeeper to make sure that that goes correctly before you do anything. So always remember, if you're planning on anything, run it by your own accountant or bookkeeper before you actually action it, because it's a lot easier to tell you how to do something correctly than it is for us to go back and try and undo something you've already done. And our final question for today, I think, is Jordan on Facebook Messenger. I've just realised I should have been using a separate bank account for everything. And I'm now trying to get my accounts in order for my first self-assessment. I know once it's done, it'll be easier, but right now I need to figure out my expenses since July 2020 across several months. Any advice? Okay, so if you've used your personal account for your business, what I'd suggest is printing out your bank statements, getting a highlighter. It's a very traditional pen and paper method, I'm afraid, but going through it from July 2020, just highlighting anything you think is business related, and then try and find receipts if you can. If you can't, it's not the end of the world, especially for the lower value stuff. Don't get too hung up on that. And then once you've got all that data together, put it into a spreadsheet to compile it, file your first tax return, but then definitely go out, get yourself a brand new bank account for the business. I always recommend Starling Bank. It's totally free and it's fantastic performance. We use it ourselves. Links to QuickBooks exceptionally easily and very well. Pull it, connect that into your QuickBooks, and you can just go from there, and everything will be a lot more streamlined and easier for you. So yeah, definitely have a look at Starling Bank, QuickBooks when you're moving forwards. Okay. Our poll results are in. We asked you, have you signed up your business for Making Tax Digital? 40% said yes, 40% said no, and 20% said you don't know. If you're not sure if you've signed up for Making Tax Digital yet, check with your accountant and bookkeeper. They may have done it for you. If you don't have an accountant or bookkeeper and you don't think you have, I can pretty much guarantee you haven't. There's a specific area on the HMRC website you need to go in and register to transfer it to Making Tax Digital. So start reading up on all this, start attending free events and webinars, etc. As I said, the OnPoint Accounting Group is going to be starting to deliver these quite a lot over the coming weeks and months and the next year. So keep an eye out for that kind of stuff and just start getting educated on what Making Tax Digital is, how it's going to impact on you and your business, and so you can then make that right decision for you as to whether you need to outsource it to an accountant or bookkeeper, or if you're confident to do it yourself with the right software such as QuickBooks. So thank you all for tuning in. If you ever want to get in contact with me, you're more than welcome to send me a message on LinkedIn. It's Johann Goree. I think I'll be the only one you can find there. And then coming up tomorrow is on the Ask the Expert is Michael Saunders from the Bank of England. He's a member of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee. This is going to be a really interesting session tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to this. Tune in to find out all the latest updates on the UK economy, interest rates, and where it's going. It's with this kind of understanding and knowledge that you're going to be able to plan ahead for your business and make some different plans to go into the year ahead. So really, really good session there. Really looking forward to that one. As a reminder, if you need any more advice, then please join the Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. There's accountants and business experts on hand 24/7 answering your questions. And don't forget the National Payroll Week. You can get 75% off QuickBooks Online and Payroll for 4 months, and the link's in the comments. So please go and look into that. I've really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you.